Yeah, today we are going to talk about idioms and phrases. Idioms and phrases are very important part of vocabulary. See, till now we have an idea that only nouns, adjectives, adverbs, and various other words can be used in vocabulary. But there are some more items which are known as idioms and also phrases. So now we are going to talk about idioms. Maybe it's a new word for you to understand. So that's why I would like to give you the definition of an idiom. What is an idiom? Idiom is a group of words, So you are able to find a group of words just like in a phrase. Just like in a phrase, you will find a group of words which individually have different meanings, but as a whole, it gives totally a different meaning. If you look at the individual words, say for example, I'm going to give you one idiom: kick the bucket. Kick the bucket. So we know the word kick, we know we know bucket. So though we know these three words, individually if you see, kicking is something, bucket you know. So take a bucket and to literally kick it is the literal meaning of that combination of words. But if you look at the individual meanings of the words, they give a different meaning for you. But as a whole, as a unit, it gives totally a different meaning. That is, to kick the bucket means to die. When somebody died, when somebody passed away, we use the expression kick the bucket. But even in idioms, see, you may ask me, sir, we have beautiful word like pass away. When somebody really died or expired, we say he passed away. This is very euphemistic. Euphemistic means very soft way of expressing the death of someone without hurting anybody. We just say he passed away. For example, Mahatma Gandhi ji passed away. Abdul Kalam ji passed away. We use this word passed away because it is very euphemistic, means understatement. Understatement. You are not hurting anybody. Whereas when you use the combination of kick the bucket, even that combination also means to expire or to die, but it has a derogatory meaning. Derogatory meaning means it's a kind of hurting or insulting way of saying. For example, you wait upon the death of someone, like some rowdy cheaters, some troublemakers, some problematic people upon whom you wait to die. When will this person die? When will this person expire? You will wait upon his death. So finally, when you have come to know that he passed away, you say that at last he kicked the bucket. So just look at this combination. It is very funny to understand. Kick the bucket means to die. So whenever you say somebody expired, you can say he kicked the bucket, but don't say this always in a formal way, because if you say Mahatma Gandhi ji kicked the bucket, it's going to be very hurting. You are hurting the sentiments of some lakhs of people across the nation and across the globe. That's why we better not use such kind of expressions. So idiomatic expressions are so beautiful, I can say, but we have to know the meaning of each and every idiom in detail. Then only we should start using it. And one more important information about idioms is that every idiom has got a story. It has got some background, how this idiom has come into existence. Like kick the bucket. See, when they are going to kill the pig, they just take the pig and they hang it upside down, and they hang the legs of the pig to some wire or something, and they keep some water for it down, and when it is going to die, it will just splash that water. That is what is called kick the bucket. So when somebody is going to die, he will splash, he will kick the bucket. That's how it has come into practice. It has come into existence. That's how there are so many idioms of that kind. Maybe you must be knowing this Trojan War, or you must be knowing this, what you call it, Greek tragedy. Greek tragedy, in which, War of Troy, in which you will be able to know so many characters. There is one character called Helen. Helen is said to be the most beautiful woman ever born on this earth planet. She's said to be most beautiful woman. Especially she is a major character in that particular Greek tragedy, for whom this Trojan War between Greeks and Trojans took place, in which, thousands of people have lost their lives. So finally, this word, Helen, could be used to say somebody who is extremely beautiful. You can say she is like a Helen. She is a Helen. Helen means she is so beautiful. And there is one more idiom called Achilles. Achilles is a character in the same Greek tragedy. And this man is a great warrior. He has a lot of power. A great warrior, like our Karna in Mahabharata, even Duryodhana in Mahabharata. They are the great warriors who cannot be defeated at all. So here what happens is Achilles has some weakness. What is that weakness? He has got his weak point in the heel. Heel means the bottom part of the foot is known as a heel. That's why we say that wearing heels, it supports you to raise up. So when you say Achilles heel, it means that somebody's weak point, somebody's weakness. In that case, you say that it is Achilles heel. What is his Achilles heel? What is his drawback? What is his weak point? What is his failing? So that's how idioms have come into existence. That way, we have so many idioms. And idioms have got sources from, I can say, from animals, from birds, from human beings, from the parts of the human body, right from hair up to toe. So top to toe, every part of the body can be used as an idiomatic expression. For example, an apple of one's eye. An apple of one's eye means who is very, very endearing, very affectionate to you. You can say, my mother is an apple of my eye. She is an apple of my eye. Means she is very, very affectionate. She is very endearing to me. I love her like anything. So to say that, you can say an apple of one's eye. So that's how you can use. For example, one particular idiom which is very popular in Britain, powder the nose. Powder the nose means to visit the toilet. When you go into toilet, what do? Usually you will cover your nose either with the hand or with some cloth or something. You will just close your nose and get inside. Means he has gone to powder his nose, means he has gone to use toilet. Okay. Raise one's eyebrows to express surprise. Okay. So similarly, eyes, nose, mouth, lips, ears, for example. Raise one's ears. She raised her ears. Or pay a deaf ear. Pay a deaf ear means not paying any attention to it. For example, teachers always give suggestions to students to follow, but they always pay a deaf ear to the suggestions given by the teachers. Means they do not pay any attention. So pay a deaf ear, 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 means not paying attention. Okay. Raise one's ears means showing a lot of interest in listening to. Suppose when somebody is telling tales or somebody is whispering, they always want to overhear, eavesdropping. We call it eavesdropping, or overhear what's happening between them. Okay. Similarly, with palms, with hands, with fingers, for example, at one's fingertips. You say that, it is at my fingertips, means very, very easy. You are very comfortable with it. It's all at my fingertips. So that way you can use. So almost all the parts of the body you can use for idiomatic expressions. Similarly, animals can be used. For example, we say black sheep. A black sheep is a person who is good for nothing. It is said that every family has got a black sheep. Every family has got a black sheep. Means at least there will be one person who is a waste person in the family, or a person who tries to damage the reputation of the family on the top of it. If he doesn't do anything, fine, let us be happy. But he will not keep quiet. He will try to damage the reputation earned by our ancestors on the top of it. So such kind of people are known as black sheep. So every family has got at least one black sheep. Crocodile tears. Crocodile tears. Crocodile tears means false tears. She always sheds crocodile tears in front of her husband. Means false or pretending to be crying. She's not really crying. She pretends to be crying in front of her husband in order to, just lure him, in order to trap him for something. That is called crocodile tears. A wolf in sheep's clothing. Wolf. Wolf is very dangerous, but it has taken the form of sheep. How it is looking outwardly? Outwardly, it is looking like a sheep. Looking like sheep, but in fact, it is wolf. So a person who looks to be outwardly good, but inwardly very dangerous, we say that he is like a wolf in the sheep's clothing. He looks to be as mild as a sheep, but in fact, he is not that. He is a wolf. Just like a snake in the grass. A snake which is underlying the grass or lying under the grass cannot be seen, but it is very dangerous. At any point of time, it can suddenly raise up. He is like a snake in the grass. He is like a wolf in the sheep's clothing. Okay, like cats and dogs. We have a beautiful idiom. It rains cats and dogs. It rains cats and dogs means it is raining heavily. Whenever we say that it is a heavy downpour or a heavy rain, we say that it's raining like cats and dogs. It has a story. The cats and dogs, usually hide in the thatches, laid on the roof. Usually in those days, the houses were used to be roofed with thatches, with dried grass. It used to be very thick, so much like this, so thick. These dogs and cats, what they used to do is they just dig little and they try to live. When it rains little, when it rains normally doesn't disturb them. But when it rains so heavily, the cats and dogs which are hiding there will also get disturbed and they come away from that place because it is pouring like anything. So in order to say that it is raining so heavily, like so heavy, we say that it's raining cats and dogs. Lion's share. What do you mean by lion's share? Lion's share means major share. Who is going to get a lion's share? We say every dog has his own day, or every dog has his day. Means to say that you too will get a day where you will have fortune, you will have success. We say that every dog has his day. A barking dog seldom bites. Of course, it's a proverb, it's not an idiom. So a barking dog seldom bites means a dog which barks will not bite anybody. It will only try to threaten or frighten people, but it's not as dangerous as a calm, quiet dog which might suddenly hold somebody, which might suddenly bite somebody. So like this, we have so many idioms to understand from weather. Just like on cloud nine, we say. What do you mean by cloud nine? When somebody is extremely happy, we say that he is on cloud nine. I'm really on cloud nine today. What's the matter? You seem to be on cloud nine. It means that you are extremely happy. What is the matter? Okay. And so many idioms of that kind you can see, weather related, animal, even colors. If you look at colors, for example, black and blue, black and white. Okay, colors. For example, let us see one by one, we will see quickly. Raining cats and dogs means it's raining cats and dogs means it's raining heavily, very hard, very heavy rain, heavy downpour. Face like thunder. He faces like thunder means how he is showing his face like thunder. He is showing his face like thunder. So how is his face? His face is like thunder means he seems to be very angry. Thunder is a symbol of very violence, anger. That's why when somebody is very much upset or when somebody is very angry, we say that his face is like thunder. Then storm in a teacup. Storm in a teacup, you can understand. Teacup is very small. So you are trying to put the storm. Storm means tufan, cyclone. So you are trying to fill the small cup with storm. It means that you are unnecessarily making a fuss of it. Fuss means it is very small issue actually, but you are exaggerating it. You are making it a very big issue. For some people, a small issue, they will exaggerate and they will go on arguing and arguing. We say, "Arey, come on, leave it, man. Give it up. It's you are creating a storm in a teacup." It's a very silly, simple matter, but you are unnecessarily creating a storm in a teacup. Like adding fuel to the fire. Already there is fire. When you add fuel, what happens? It will, flame up like anything. It will flare up like anything. So, storm in a teacup. Chase rainbows means trying to search for something or trying to achieve something which is impossible. Just like chase the wild goose. To chase the wild goose, it is very difficult. You can't really chase it. So you are trying for something which is impossible. In that case, we say you are trying to chase rainbows. Can you really chase the rainbow? It's very difficult because it's somewhere in the sky. Sky is only imagination. It's not a real entity at all. So when you say that you are trying for something impossible, we say that he is chasing rainbows or he is chasing a wild goose. Okay. Bury hatchet. Bury the hatchet means let's try to finish it off. Something what happened happened. Let us leave it. Unnecessarily don't make a big issue. Okay, let's see. Lightning fast means doing something very fast. He is running as fast as lightning, very fast. Heads in the cloud. Where is he? He is daydreaming. He is not here. He is on cloud nine. Cloud nine, at least realistic, very happy, cheerful. But just like, we say, build castles in the air. When somebody is trying to build castles in the air, what do we say? It is just like he is daydreaming. It is not going to really happen, but he is only daydreaming or not paying any attention to what's happening in reality. Then we say he has his head's always in the cloud. He is not in the reality somewhere. Under weather. Under weather, ill, sad, exhausted. When somebody is very ill, very sad, very exhausted, we say under weather. Snowed under, having too much to do. Good Samaritan. Good Samaritan. Actually, there was a character by name Samaritan in the Bible. So Samaritan was an exemplary character who was very, very helpful to everyone. He used to go to any extent to help people who are in difficulties, That's why whenever somebody helps his neighbors, others who are in troubles, we say that he is like a good Samaritan. Okay. Adding feather to one's cap means already he has a hat of all the feathers, but one more feather means one more achievement, one more success has come to him. Already he is a man of success, man of achievements, but it added one more feather in his cap. Okay. Now, at snail space, snail is, you can see in the picture, snail is a kind of worm, a kind of insect, which is very, very slow in its movement. Natta, very slow. So when somebody says that he is walking like a snail, he kept a snail's pace, means he's walking very slowly. Busy as a bee. When somebody is very busy, we say that he is as busy as a bee. So bees are said to be very busy. That's why we take this expression to say that somebody is as busy as cool as cucumber, as lean as meat. So these are the comparisons which we use. These are called similes. As lean means as thin as meat, as busy as bee. Okay. Now, open a can of worms means create a whole set of new problems. You are opening a can of worms means the moment you open, there are all worms in that. Means already there are so many problems. Why do you open new issues? The world is your oyster means there are so many opportunities in front of you. Why do you worry? When you try to inspire and motivate somebody, we say that the world is your oyster. Eagle's eye means excellent vision. When somebody has got so much of clear vision, we say that excellent vision he has. Eagle's eye. Guinea pig. Guinea pigs are test sample. Let sleeping dogs lie. So the dog which is sleeping, let it lie. Why do you wake it up? Means do not unnecessarily dig out something that invites trouble. It is just lying very cool and sleepy. Why do you unnecessarily wake it up? Raise the issue. Bull in a China shop. Bull in a China shop means extremely clumsy, unclear, very kind of very a different kind of person, you can say. He looks to be just like a bull in a China shop. In the China shop, what do you find? All the products of the China. But whereas there is a bull, means something strange. And we have one thing called think out of box. What do you mean by think out of box? Means think differently, not on the regular this thing. When you try to think differently, logically, we say that think out of the box. As everyone guesses that, you also think on those lines. It is just like thinking within the box. But think out of the box and see what are the other, prospects, other possibilities in that. Butterflies in one's stomach means I have butterflies in my stomach means I'm very, very nervous and anxious. When somebody is very nervous and very anxious, we say he has butterflies in his mouth, in his stomach. Sorry. Pig-headed means very adamant person, very stubborn, very adamant. When pigs fly, means something is highly unlikely to happen. This is let the cat out of the bag is a very, very common idiom. Whenever you are trying to reveal the secret, you say that let the cat out of the bag. So there is actually a person has carried a bag in which there is a cat. But let the cat out of the bag means let it be known to the people. When you try to reveal the secret, we say let the cat out of the bag. Like a fish out of water. Fish out of water means as long as fish is in the water, it is quite comfortable, quite okay. The moment it comes out, it struggles like anything. It undergoes problems. So whenever somebody is not comfortable or facing some problem, he says that, how are you? I am like a fish out of water. Now colors. I told you, black market. What do you mean by black market? Something which is illegally sold, traded. In such case, we say black market. Black and blue. He was beaten. Black and blue means he was beaten very much. Very harshly was beaten. A child was beaten black and blue by his teacher. Black and white. Please give it in black and white. Means give it in writing. Whatever I said, I'll give it in black and white. Means I'll give it in writing to you. The black sheep, already we discussed. Now blue. Blue-blooded means wealthy person. And one more is that born with a silver spoon in one's mouth. When you say that somebody is very rich, we say that Jawaharlal Nehru was, said to be born with a silver spoon in his mouth. Means he was born rich. So a man who is born with a silver spoon in his mouth, you can understand he is very, very rich. Once in a blue moon, when something happens very rarely, we say once in a blue moon. Blue moon does not come at all. Actually, new moon and full moon will come once in 15 days. Blue moon will never come. So to say that actually something happens very rarely, does he come to college regularly? No. He comes once in a blue moon, means almost very regularly. And there are idioms with food also, like a hard nut to crack. Hard nut to crack, a problem or a person who is very difficult to handle. Oh, our principal, he is a hard nut to crack. We can't really handle him. We can't tell cock and bull stories. Even cock and bull is idiom. Cock and bull story means which is not a real story. Cock and don't tell me cock and bull stories. A hard nut to crack. It's not my cup of tea. Cup of tea is very easy to drink. It's not my cup of tea. Means you say that it's not interesting to me, or I can't do this, or I'm not comfortable with this. We say it's not my cup of tea. As cool as a cucumber, means very cool, calm, relaxed kind of person. Eat humble pie. When somebody is very, very humble, we say he ate humble pie. Now, it's no use crying over spilt milk. See, the milk which is spilt cannot be really used at all. So even though you cry so much, even though you shout so much over spilt milk, nothing can be done for that. So worrying about something that can't be really repaired and mended, it's unnecessary to worry about. Then we say that, array, it's no use crying over spilt milk. A couch potato, a lazy person. Eat like a horse, eating a lot. He always eats like a horse. Catch someone's eye means to attract someone's attention. Some people, dress up to catch others' eyes. To sit on the fence. To sit on the fence means when you are not comfortable, or when a person does not take sides in the argument, okay, or is hesitant to choose between two sides. We say that I'm just like a devil under the deep sea. When you are really in the middle of a problem, what do you say? I am caught between devil and the deep sea. If I go ahead, there is a devil. If I come back, there is a deep sea. What to do? I am sitting on the fence. To burn the candle at both ends means to work to burn the midnight oil is there, to burn the candle at both ends means to work from early in the morning until date. He is working very, very hard. He is burning the candle at both ends. Actually, we burn the candle only one side. But when somebody is burning both the sides means he is working very, very hard. Burn the midnight oil means many students, what they do is when the exams fast approach, especially tomorrow or next week we have exams, they stay awake all through the night, and they spend a lot of time in the nights, studying. Then we say that, just like burning the midnight oil. Written all over your face means it's very, very evident and clear. Zip your lip means keep your mouth shut. You can say zip your mouth, or zip your lip, or zip it. These are the expressions you can use. to put your foot in your mouth means to say or do something that offends. Just like, if you put put yourself into the socks of others, you will come to know. If you put yourself in my shoes, you will come to know where the shoe pinches, where the problem is. You will be able to understand. So like this, there are so many idioms of that kind which we need to understand. Then only, I have just given you only few samples for you to understand, but there are so many idioms and so many phrases of that kind which really, make your expression very grand, very attractive, very beautiful. That's why idiomatic expressions are very important for the people to understand. So that's why what I advise you is try to read books. Books are the beautiful sources for us to understand or to get the idiomatic expressions.